Hey guys, how you doing? I'm back to discuss that DOT card with you guys. This is something that you need in order to obtain your CDL permit, your CDL license. You don't have this, they will not let you get it because it's basically saying that you're not fit enough to be a CDL driver. And I don't mean like buff man, gym girly. I don't mean that. I just mean like you got to be basically, you know, at minimum healthy enough to drive the bus and physically strong enough to drive the bus because everybody is not can't turn the wheel. They might have their wrists might irritate them or they might have arthritis, but they need to see if you can do this. So the card looks like this right here. I'm covering up my address and everything and my name, but it looks like this. It's just a piece of paper, but it's signed off by a doctor. And you need that in order to obtain. Let me show you. Look, in order to obtain this license or this, some type of form of permit, in order to get you a job like this. It might not be a big deal to you to work public transit, but it's a type of job where you don't need to have a degree. You don't need to have previous experience or nothing. They train you, and you make good money. So I'm cool with that. Talk down on it if you want, but I'm cool with that. So to obtain a DOT, hold on guys, this is dry, real dry. The other stuff feel old. Sorry. So in order to obtain a DOT, right, you have to get an authorization form. An authorization form would come from your school, because like when I went to truck driving school and got that CDL permit for Class A, the school provided an authorization form saying basically we're paying for it, we're sending her to get a DOT physical so she can do whatever it is with us. Or your job, the new job, like if you have a job that's they're offering you a job, they're gonna send an authorization form with you to the DOT place. And here in Missouri is the BJC care. So they'll send you an authorization form up there. So when you get to the DOT place, you're gonna present them with your ID, your authorization form, and they will put you in queue for your turn. When they give you your paperwork, it's going to be a long form. It's going to basically ask the questions like when you go to the doctor, where do you live? Where do you, any illnesses in the family? Do you have this? Do you have that? Now you got to be careful. Be careful what you put on this paperwork. Not saying that they can't find out, but let them find out. Be careful what you put on this paperwork. I know some people who have not gotten a job because of their high blood pressure. They put it on the paperwork. Or I think because his blood pressure was high, super high at the time. But it's certain things you can put on that paperwork that disqualify you. You don't want to be too open. I ain't telling you to lie. I'm just saying let them find out. I don't know nothing. So you fill out your form and you give it back to them. And then eventually they will call you to the back. Now, I'm telling you to be ready to give up at least an hour of your time when it comes to doing everything you got to do for the DOT physical. So when you get to the back, this is the order that they do it here. So when you get to the back, they're going to first take your blood pressure, your height, and your weight. Now let me tell you why them three things are dangerous. If you have high blood pressure, take your medicine before you go. Do not go in there with 159 over 112 blood pressure, because they're gonna say we cannot give you. We stopping right here. There's no point in keep going. And then if you didn't put that you have high blood pressure on your form, they're gonna be looking at you crazy like you lied. Take your medicine. Don't eat all that processed food throughout the week. You know you gotta go. Don't be eating all the hot sauce and stuff. That stuff is gonna shoot your pressure up. Take it from me. I have congestive heart failure. And before that I had Graves' disease. And all those things causes blood pressure to be high. And I have to take drastic measures when I go do my DOT. So take your medicine. Don't try to take it the night before. Take your medicine 3, 4, 5 days before, because you know some of the medicines don't kick in at first day. Like they'll help you lower your blood pressure, but you know some of them need a little time to work. So take your medicine. Oh, and I forgot to mention. So let's say you want to get your permit, but you don't want to wait on an authorization form. You want this job so bad. You just like, I'm just going to pay for the DOT myself. You could do that. You can pay for the DOT yourself. I think it's like, I want to say $80 where I'm at. You can go into there and self-pay. You do not have to wait on an authorization form. You can go pay for it yourself. But I'm pretty sure most people, if they look for a job, they may not have that money. So you just get the authorization form from your job or from the school or whatever, and they'll pay for it. But say you like, I want this job so bad, I want to have my stuff. You know, most people ain't gonna have it. I want to make sure they notice me. You pay for it yourself. You can even do that if they gave you a 1-year DOT because you had health issues. Like say, I'll get into that. I'll discuss that later. Now, let's get back to this blood pressure, height, and weight. These things can disqualify you from a DOT card. I just got disqualified because I was always a bus operator, but I was gone for a while during COVID and came back, and I had to get another DOT. And I got disqualified for a DOT. So let me tell you how those things can disqualify you from getting a DOT. Now, I just discussed with y'all the blood pressure. If it's too high, they can't allow that. It ain't no way around that. So let me tell you, they will do BMI. They was never doing the BMI back then, but I guess because I wasn't as big as I am now, when I would go take my DOT, I had been already lost weight from having children or whatever. So I went in to do my DOT physical. And when I went in to do my DOT physical, my blood pressure was fine. It was a little high, but it wasn't a disqualifying number. So when they did my height and weight, my BMI was too high. They wanted me to get a sleep study. And because I was just coming back to Metro, it disqualified me from having a job with them, because you have to be an employee first to obtain a DOT with your BMI being too high, if that makes sense. If you just starting, you cannot have a too high BMI to your height ratio. If you get what I'm saying, that's what BMI is, your weight to your height. And mine was too high. So that literally meant I needed to lose like 30 or 40 pounds. But it disqualified me from getting a DOT. I mean, I got it because I lost 30, 40 pounds in 3 weeks. I mean, come on now. I did it because I know how to do it. You know, it was just the fact of doing it. You know, I got a video on here showing how I'm losing weight right now. You know, and how it's going. So, You guys can check that out if you need help losing weight, and if you determined to get a job that pay you some money. So that is how your BMI and your BMI, because it's your height and weight, can disqualify you. You have to be under 40 BMI. I don't know the unit, but 40 the measurement, the BMI measurement. You cannot be over 40. If you're over 40, you got to get a sleep study. But if you're over 40, most times the jobs won't even qualify you for the job anymore. They'll rescind their offer letter to you. You don't want that. That hurt. That hurt my feelings so bad. You don't want that. I was crying a little bit. Yeah, I don't want to feel how I feel. I feel like I had lost something, like a parent or something had died or something, because I hadn't worked in 4 years and I was ready to get back to something that I knew. But that's one way you can be disqualified. But that's something that they're going to check. Now, you don't have to be perfect weight, perfect height. I'm just saying, look out for that, because coming in through the door, you got to be a certain weight and height. You still could be heavy, because I'm still heavy, but your job, because they'll give you a 1-year DOT instead of a 2-year DOT, and the job might want you to have a 2-year, not a 1. So then when I lost the weight, I went and paid for a new DOT physical, and they did a new DOT physical, and guess what? I got the 2 years because I was under the weight. And they was like, congratulations, because I did it so fast. They didn't believe I could do it. It's always some non-believers that don't think you can do something, but you can. It's possible. Anything is possible. Don't let nobody tell you it's not. Next, they will take you to the bathroom to do a urine test. But before they do the urine test, right next to that is a breathalyzer. They will have you blow into a breathalyzer to make sure you ain't got no liquor in your system. I don't know who the H would go and take a DOT physical knowing they're doing a drug test, an alcohol test, and drink before they go. I don't know nobody. I probably do. But that's crazy. Why would you do that? But you take the breathalyzer, they give you the copy of what you got. Of course, mine was 0.00. And then they go do a urine test. You can't take a phone. I mean, you can take your phone, but you basically can't take a phone. They want all the stuff out your pockets, and they want your purse and stuff. You can't take none of that in there with you when you go use the restroom. So when you go in there to use the restroom, they tell you do not flush. You go in there to use the restroom, and the toilet water is blue. Now, I'm going to tell you guys what they told me why the water is blue. Because I just asked. I was like, I want to know this. I can't get past it. Why is this water blue? They told me that the water was blue because they had people to scoop out water for their urine test. Like, dilute their urine for the urine test. So they make the water blue. I always thought like when you urinated and it went into the toilet, it would kind of change the color or like give some type of chemical reaction, but it don't. It's blue because people was using water to, dilute their urine. So just a heads up. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share the information because I didn't know that until I asked. After all these years of having a DOT and having to go do a physical, I never asked that question. But I know now. After you're done with the alcohol and urine test, they take you to go do an eye test. So, the normal eye doctor test, eye exam, yearly eye exam, A, B, C, whatever. They'll have you do that, ask you do you wear glasses or contacts before you even do the test. And then you'll do that test. But they also do 2 other eye tests. One is for peripheral vision, and one is also for color blindness. They'll give you that colorful circle with another color. The color is a number though, and they'll say what number is in there. Believe me when I tell you that some people can't see that. My dad, he was colorblind. All his brothers are colorblind. I guess they got it from their dad. They cannot see that. And that's weird because I see it clear as day, but they cannot see it. So of course, if you're colorblind, you can't. I mean, you can get past it, but I don't know because my dad was colorblind. He drove the bus too, but I don't know how he got past that. But I don't want to find out if you don't pass it, what's gonna happen. So yeah. So the peripheral that asks you where do you see the red dot, left or right, and you tell them where on your peripheral because you need to be able to see on the side of you, right? You can't just see tunnel vision. You got to see everything. So that's that test. The next test they'll give you is a hearing test. Of course, you got to be able to hear. So I drive public transit. So with public transit, they when we get to the railroad tracks, we have to open up the window and the door, hazards on, and stop before the arm or before the tracks where the thick white line brick line is, and you have to look and listen. Sometimes they're not blowing the horn. You have to hear. You have to use your hearing to see if you hear a train coming or see a train coming. So that's where all that peripheral and hearing tests come in. You have to hear things. You have to hear what's going on around you. You can't just be sitting up there like, I'm just driving. It's more than just driving. It's more than just looking straight. You have to look all around. Okay. So the last thing that I can remember that you do is they'll take you to the back now. You got to go see the doctor. Of course, the doctor is looking at your numbers, blood pressure numbers, BMI numbers, trying to determine if you need to go take a sleep study, which in the beginning, when you get a sleep study, if you have to get a sleep study, the job do not pay for that. Once you're hired on, and if you have to get a sleep study, the job may pay for it then, but in the beginning, you're on your own. And it takes months to get in there. So that's why I just lost the weight. If you need help losing weight and you don't know how to do it and you're trying to do a job like I do, let me know. Because I lost 30, 40 pounds in 3 weeks. It's not hard. It's just a mindset, a discipline. That's all it is. Getting out your way and getting out of habit of the things that we've been groomed to do. That's all. You'll make all the excuses in the world in your brain on why you should eat and why you shouldn't be dieting and oh, but it's my birthday. I'll finish tomorrow. No, if you want a job like this that pay you some good money, I know everybody can content create and all that, but some people still want that extra 401k pension. They still want that. So this is one of those types of jobs. So let's say everything good, blood pressure good, BMI good, weight good, everything is good. Now the doctor is gonna feel your neck. She gonna feel your thyroid. Make sure everything good there and your lymph nodes. But she's also gonna have you get up and squat, touch your toes, and I think to close your eyes and touch your nose, like see if you can touch your nose. And it's just a few things that the doctor will do because basically you've done everything. You've gotten to the end. That's the home stretch. Once you pass all that other stuff, you good. Unless you can't squat. But I think you should be able to. Like bend over forward and touch your toes, lift one leg up and stand on it, lift the other leg up and stand on it. But outside of that, that's it. That's how you get your DOT. You need that DOT to obtain your permit when you go to the DMV and to get your license to be out there driving a big vehicle. That's saying that you're good enough to drive a big vehicle. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that you're not good enough if you don't get your DOT. You just got to get some stuff in order. And that stuff in order may be your weight, like it was with me when I came back, compared to your height, or you didn't take your blood pressure medicine like I told you. Or you wrote too much stuff on that long form. Let them find out. Don't be giving up free information. Don't be volunteering information. Do what you gotta do so you can get your money. That's it. That's all. So next video, I'll talk to you guys about how you go about getting your license. Now you got your DOT and your permit. Now you gotta get your license. That's it. All right, bye.